Hey, so in this video I show you how to make onion sausage at home. On the meat side we need pork belly and some lean pork. Then we need some onions which we will caramelize. Then salt, and for the spices, white pepper, paprika, sugar, mace and marjoram. You can find the full ingredient list as always below, and I would say, yeah, let's start. First of all, cut the meat into strips. Make sure that they fit into your grinder, and then also place the pork belly in a different bowl than the lean pork because we will process them separately. First we start with the pork belly. Get a pot, put some water into it, and then put the pork belly pieces into there. Just make sure that the water covers the meat, but it shouldn't be too much water. Put it onto the stove and let it simmer for 60 to 90 minutes. In the meantime, you can put all the spices and salt into a spice grinder and grind it into a very fine powder. This just helps to distribute everything evenly. Get it out of the spice blender and then whoa! Okay, yeah, that shouldn't happen. That's a mess. Don't do that. Clean everything up and then cut the onions into strips. And then you can simmer them in a pan with butter for around 10 minutes. They shouldn't be super brown. They should just simmer a bit down, lose some water, and be nicely caramelized, as you can see here. And that's enough. Put it aside. Once the meat is cooked, get a sieve and put it out there. Just make sure that you don't throw away the broth. We will need it later on. That's why, now separate the meat and the broth. And then you can also add the onions to the meat. And you can now also add the lean pork meat as well. And we will grind everything through the finest perforated disc. We want a really fine mass. And if you want it super creamy and mushy, you could also grind it through twice. I'm doing this now with 50% of the mass. You can also do it with all of it. That's completely up to you. You do you. Okay. So everything is ground up, mix it together, and then also add the spices. Get everything in there and make sure that it's evenly incorporated. And now you can get a ladle and put some of the broth back into it. Always do it step by step. One ladle, put it back in, mix everything around, and just check the texture. It should be a bit looser than you might think because it will firm up once we cook it again. However, if you want it super spreadable, make it even more thin. If you like it more sliceable, like I do it now, then don't add too much broth again. Okay, now I put it into jars. You could also use some casings, some artificial or natural casings, and poach it. However, I will put it into jars and then cook them in, preserve them. That's better for me. However, as I said, you can also use casings. The instruction for this can also be found in the article below. Make sure that you don't fill them too full. Always have one fingertip of air in there, then close them. And of course, make sure that everything is clean before when you do such things. That's super important. Okay, and now you can get a pot and cook them in boiling hot water for around 2 hours. The alternative, if you use a casing, would be to poach them at around 80 degrees Celsius, which is 176 Fahrenheit, for around 40 minutes. Yeah, and afterwards you can cool it down and then enjoy it. That's why I did here. As you can see, it firmed up nicely and I will open now this jar and taste test it. This is now a good demonstration that there's some really good vacuum on it. You need to pull the rubber and then it's open. And yeah, let's get a knife. Smells good. Smells really oniony. As you can see here, it's now spreadable. As I said before, if you add less broth, then it becomes sliceable. That's completely up to you. Just make sure you like it. But I would say enough talking about the sausage. Let's give it a try. Yes. Yeah, it's really rich, it's creamy. It tastes really, oniony. I really like this sausage. It's a classic in Germany. And yeah, it tastes so good that I need to give it another try. Yeah, well done to myself. If you want to try it out, the full recipe, as always, is in the description below. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel. There will be weekly sausage videos. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye bye.